All right, let's see who's up next.
Looks like we got James in Apopka coming up next. Go ahead, James.
Hey, Larry. Thanks for taking my call, man.
Hey, no problem.
So, 2017 F-150 on pretty much cold start. Every time it shifts from 3 to 4 or 3 to 5, it's like it's a manual transmission.
Okay. Now, when you say a manual transmission, you mean that it describe the sensation to me. I'm trying to follow you.
Well, it's like it's missing a gear. You know, it's like it just hesitates and then it finally shifts to 4 or 5.
Okay. All right. How many miles do you have on this truck?
75,000.
All right, and this is a what engine is in it?
It's got the 3.5 V6.
Okay, EcoBoost.
Yep.
And this has got the 10-speed transmission?
Yes.
Okay. James, I'm going to be 100% honest with you. That's why I decided to pretty much restore and do some updating on my 15. I don't want to mess with the 10-speed transmission. I need dependable transportation.
Right.
I'm going to keep my old 6-speed in that and this King Ranch I got. I just, I told the guys at the shop. I said I'm just going to have some leather redone and just make it a brand new truck again, and I'm just going to keep it for another 150,000 mile. I'm not going to. I said they all look the same anyway. I said I don't want to have to deal with the 10-speed transmission issues. This is the situation, James, with that transmission. Usually when they were pretty new and had less than 20,000 mile on them, people were complaining about the shift patterns and issues as far as missing gears and that sort of thing. And they were taking them back to the dealer. Dealer was doing reflashes on them, and sometimes it helped, sometimes it didn't. But the folks that really had issues were the ones that were trying to tow with them. You would every once in a while you get somebody that didn't have one bit of problem with them, but then you get other folks that are just fighting these things the whole time that they've had them. And
right.
the technical service bulletin, just so you know, with the types of problems that you're having, the first thing that Ford recommends that you do with them is actually rebuild the valve body and replace the solenoids and actually do an adaptive relearn on the transmission. And then if that don't work, of course, then the transmission comes out of the darn thing. Which it just, I really wish that there was better news for you, but these have been an issue. Now, the ones that we had gotten from Jasper, and Jasper's having the awfulest time ever was getting transmissions for these. There's just not enough cores out there. And what's winding up happening is they're actually building a different. Well, they're actually updating the valve bodies in these transmissions whenever they send them out, to the shops to have them installed. Just because of the amount of problems that Ford had with them. Now, one of the updated things that is going into this valve body is what they call a channel plate. It's an updated channel plate, and it's got some different size holes in it for fluid to travel through. And evidently, what they've done is they have decreased the size of those too much whenever the transmissions were being built. And that's why I guess we're having the problems that we're having, because the adaptive learn that these things get after the valve body rebuilds is to increase the line pressure, I guess, to try to help offset the actual real problem. And by using that new channel plate in the transmission valve body, that allows more fluid to pass through it. And I think that's why they're trying to offset it. But as they come from the factory, it's most folks are never going to be happy with it. And if you've already lost a gear, it's not going to get any better until something's done. My advice would be at this point, if it was mine, I'd have to hook a transmission pressure gauge to it and check the line pressure. And then whenever it goes to look for fourth gear, I'd have to look and see if I'm losing pressure. If I'm losing pressure, that means the third gear's gone. Either a piston's broken, a servo's out of whack, something's not allowing either it to actually retain fluid pressure. And if that is the case, and that it's either a band or a piston inside of a clutch drum, or the clutches are smoked. A lot of it you can really tell when you drop the pan on one. If the fluid is pretty much black, then the clutch material is just burned up inside the transmission, and that's due to a hydraulic internal leak somewhere. But the fluid pressure test is going to tell us, whether it's something internally hydraulic or whether it is something electrical. If we don't lose fluid pressure and we're still trying to develop this shift, then that means we've got an electrical, probably a solenoid problem or something like that. But, that's pretty much the procedure that we would have to do to diagnose it, to know exactly what's going on with it. And anybody that deals with transmissions is going to have to do the same thing to really give you an honest answer of what the deal is with it. Yeah. And who knows? It may wind up being a valve in that valve body, that's sticking or something along those lines, because this is supposedly Ford's fix for it, is rebuilding the valve body. Okay. And if that's all that needs to be done, that'd be a whole lot less than having to pull the transmission and rebuild it. You see what I'm saying? So
I got you.
Might be something worth, at least doing a good diagnostic on it and getting those fluid pressure test readings. That right there is going to tell you pretty much which direction you can go with it, what your options are. All right,
I guess
sir?
The only positive is that I bought it as a certified pre-owned from Ford, so I guess we'll see if they can do anything with it.
How long is the warranty good for on it?
It's good for like 3 years. So I've had it for like 6 months now, and it's just always had this hesitation. So I'm going to see if they can do anything with it.
What I'm afraid of, James, is let's say that they do agree and it needs a transmission. The next problem is going to be whether they can get one or not. That I'm not kidding you. This stuff is all 3.5 EcoBoost motors, 10-speed Ford transmissions. All that stuff's on national back order, and Jasper hadn't even got any because they can't get the cores for them. It is a mess.
That's the thing. If they tear it down and down the truck, then I've still got the payment. The truck's sitting there in the lot with no parts. Yeah, I might as well just drive it.
That's what you kind of. I would at least let them check it. Let's let them check it and then see what the deal is with it. And if you run into a catch-22 type of situation there, Larry at magicmechanic.com, and I'll see if maybe we can come up with some solutions. And if they can't get a transmission or the parts to fix it, a lot of times, even though it's a Ford extended warranty only, sometimes they will sub those out to Magic Mechanic if they can't get the parts. If the customer is in agreement to use what they consider an aftermarket part, which Jasper's probably better than anything Ford would sell you anyway. So that's kind of where we're at. So there may be a possibility if the dealer can't help you, we might be able to, if the extended warranty or the ESP policy will allow us to get involved with it.
Sounds really good, Larry. I appreciate it a lot.
Good luck, my friend.